What is going on YouTube? Joe here with Culination Media, and welcome back to another episode of Pokemon Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire Battle Spot Live. This is episode number 9, and coming into today's episode, we are sitting at a record of 12-4 through the last 8 episodes. We'll see how we can fare today, hopefully increase that win percentage at least a little bit. This is going to be the last episode that we're using this specific team. I'll be changing things up next time. And as we're getting started today, I will, of course, give you guys a little overview on the team. But before we do that, just a friendly little reminder, in case you guys haven't done so already and you would like to show your support to the channel and the series and all that fun stuff, you can do so by clicking that like button right below this video. That does help out a lot. And so do your comments, so feel free to leave your thoughts down below with suggestions or whatever you would like to do. All that stuff does help. So I appreciate it when you guys do that. As for the team, we have our Choice Scarf Delphox, Focus Sash Mamoswine, Choice Specs Noivern, Life Orb, Agility Empoleon, Physically Defensive Furfrou, and then Contrary Rest Talking Malabar with Superpower and Night Slash and all that fun stuff. This team is interesting. We have Staraptor, Garchomp, Rotom Wash, Tyranitar, Bronzong, and then Camerupt, which, like, part of this team looks like a Trick Room team. Especially with the Bronzong and Camerupt part, at least. That could prove to be very deadly, because Mega Camerupt has ridiculously high attacking stats on both sides, really. It's a great mixed attacker, very dangerous under Trick Room, and has decent coverage as well. Fire and Ground actually hits a lot of things, surprisingly. Noivern actually can take it on somewhat well, as long as it doesn't have a Rock-type move, which it might. It could be carrying Rock Slide or something of that nature. That Staraptor could prove to be a little bit of a problem. Either way, I think I want to bring Mamoswine because the Focus Sash could prove to be very useful, and so could the Ice Shard to take out that Staraptor and possibly finish off the Garchomp. EQ could be great for that T-Tar, so we don't have to worry about trying to kill it on its special side. Not that that's going to matter because I'm bringing all physical attackers. I'm going to lead off with Malabar, and we're going to bring Furfrou as well, because that extra Rocky Helmet passive damage could be very useful in getting things into range of potential Ice Shard KOs. So I don't know if that's going to work out, but we're going to give it a go. Our opponent is leading off with Rotom Wash, which has given this team some trouble, but Malabar should be able to take it on one-on-one. We do have special defense investment, and we are not afraid of a burn because we do have rest. So as long as we are getting our boosts, we should be okay. I think I'm going to open up with a superpower here, and we'll see what this thing wants to do. Possibly a Volt Switch, or just a straight up Will-O-Wisp. I don't know. We're going to find out. Either way, we should get our boosts here. Well, I guess it could have Aegislash too. Wait, did you have Aegislash? I'm putting Aegislash on every team in my mind. I don't even know if this team had an Aegislash. I remember some of the Pokemon. Mega Camerupt, obviously. T-Tar, Garchomp, Staraptor. There's one other one that I'm missing. Maybe that's the Aegislash. I don't know. Maybe I'm just thinking of the last episode. That's what happens when you record these back to back. I just get teams messed up all the time. Among other things. That's not the only thing that I mess up. I mess up plenty of things. You guys know that, though. Garchomp is coming out here to take this superpower. We are going to get hurt by the Rough Skin. That does okay damage. Just okay. Not great. But the downside is I don't think we're going to be able to take a hit, even with a +1 in physical defense. Most of the Garchomps that I've seen on Battle Spot thus far are Scarf Chomp. A large majority of them. Like 90+% of them are Scarf Chomp. And Furfrou can take on Scarf Chomp very easily. Really without any trouble at all. Because it can easily sponge the hits. We can set up a Cotton Guard, or we can just hit it with a return to speed up its death, basically. And then we can always rest off the damage later. And Furfrou really isn't going to be useful in taking on the Rotom at all, so we might as well send it out here and let her do what she needs to do. In comes the EQ, which shouldn't do too much. Yeah, that doesn't do that much at all. Maybe 40-something HP worth. And we could go for a Cotton Guard, but I don't want that Rotom just switching in for free. So I think we're better off just going for a return here and at least dealing some damage to it if it does want to come in. We'll see. Yes, the Rotom is coming in, so we'll get a little bit of damage off here. Yeah, that doesn't do that much at all, but, I mean, we're uninvested in our physical attack. Any attack. So, I guess we'd have to go back into Malabar, because Mamoswine doesn't really want to switch in on Hydro Pumps or Will-O-Wisps. That just seems unnecessarily risky. Especially when that Garchomp is still around. If Furfrou needs to be used to take on the third Pokemon, Mamoswine can potentially take on the final Pokemon. But you know what? We're just going to go for a return here. I think he might go for a Volt Switch. Never mind. T-Bolt, okay. That's not going to kill either way, though, so we can take that. And the Paralysis. Which is unfortunate because another return might have taken it out. Possibly. I'll go for another return here, and we're paralyzed and unable to move. And Furfrou's going to go down. So we're going to have to rely on Mamoswine then. It's unfortunate. I mean, that's what happens when you leave Furfrou in on a special attacker, I guess. But we would have been fine without that para. That is really unfortunate. 10% chance. That stinks. Furfrou can take one special attack, usually. As long as it's not Focus Blast. It can take one special attack, and you can get some damage off, and then come back in on a physical attacker later and rest up. And it's fine, but not if you get paralyzed, unfortunately. So anyway, that is in the past. We're going to come out with Mamoswine here. And I will go for an Icicle Crash, because that's really all we can do. We kind of have to hope for a flinch here. Or hope that you go for Hydro Pump and not Will-O-Wisp. Because we can take that with our Focus Sash. And it's just unfortunate that we have to use it at this point. But that's just what it is. That is just what it is. So here comes the Icicle Crash. We obviously outspeed. If Furfrou was outspeeding Rotom, obviously Mamoswine will. And we get the flinch, so the Hacks gods kind of repay us there. But we need to hit another Icicle Crash, and we do. Back-to-back Icicle Crash hits plus the flinch means that this Rotom is going to bite the dust. Finally, it absorbed like 5 hits or something before finally going down. And we know Garchomp is one of the remaining Pokemon. That's not going to match up well. And Staraptor actually isn't going to match up that well either, even with an Intimidate. It's possible that another Icicle Crash would just kill here. But we have Malabar. And so we can just sacrifice it here, essentially. Just to come back in and not be intimidated. And still have our Focus Sash intact. Which sounds good right about now, because Malabar's not going to beat Garchomp one-on-one. It's just not going to happen. Not with the amount of damage that it's already taken. So, there you go. And Staraptor is going to go for the close combat. That'll lower both of its defenses. Malabar actually took that. I was kind of expecting a Brave Bird, which would have been preferable, because at least we'd get some recoil damage going. I'll go for a Night Slash in case you want to switch here. But I assume you're just going to want to take us out with another close combat. And I say close combat again just because I'm assuming that this thing is choiced in some manner. Either Choice Scarf or Choice Band. Those are the two common items that you normally would see on a Staraptor. So yeah. I don't know what else to say. We see a withdrawal here, so we might still get intimidated. Which stinks, because he's switching this in to get the rough skin damage, and that might actually take us out from there. But, actually no, we survive with 8 HP, and we're going to get a bit of Lefty's recovery. But I don't think that it is a good idea to switch Mamoswine in. So I really would prefer to have that Focus Sash there. So we're going to let Garchomp take Malabar out here, and it really just depends on what he wants to do. If he wants to leave it in, thinking he can outspeed and hoping that we don't carry the Ice Shard should take this Garchomp out from there. It wouldn't be a one-shot from full health, I don't think, but we can just go for it here. And the worst that happens is that he switches in Staraptor, which even with the Intimidate, I still think that it's a 2-hit KO. Because Staraptor is pretty darn frail. And even if it isn't, I don't know. This could be bad news. This could be bad news if at -1 we just barely miss out on KOing. Because we're going to get at least 2 shots at something. Because, you know, it's obviously going to take our opponent at least 2 hits to take us out, thanks to our Focus Sash. But regardless, he opts to leave his Garchomp in here, and he cannot take that Ice Shard. So down goes the Garchomp, and that pretty much seals the deal for us, I would think. Because I think that 2 Ice Shards would KO, even at -1. Is it worth the risk, though? That's the question. I don't think it is. So, I'm going to go for the Icicle Crash, and we will play a little bit recklessly here. Again, this whole match has been reckless play, honestly. But you got to take some chances sometimes, right? In comes the Close Combat. That is going to bring us down to our Focus Sash, and we're going to get off an Icicle Crash. Hopefully that connects. Please connect. Thank you very much. And that should be a dead Star Raptor, unless it is Focus Sash, of course, in which case we will take you out with an Ice Shard the following turn. Which, actually, that could be dangerous, because if you had Focus Sash, your Quick Attack would out-prioritize my Ice Shard. But anyway, that's just, I don't know. I don't know what that is. That's just going a little bit too far into detail, because that's not what happened. We took out the Star Raptor with an Icicle Crash, and that is going to be a victory for us. That is going to bring our record to 13-4 on the series. That is a 9-game differential. We have a chance to get up to 10 games, actually. So that's pretty cool. But we had a chance to do that in the last episode as well, and we were not able to close out that second match. Mega Lopunny was just all over us. This team just doesn't fare very well against Mega Lopunny. And of course, here we go, another Mega Lopunny team. These things are everywhere on battle spots. I cannot get through an episode without running into one of these things. Like, they definitely have replaced Mega Kangaskhan, essentially. Like, where is Kangaskhan? I haven't seen one yet, I don't think, for this entire series, which is nonsense. Well, no, it's not nonsense. I'm not gonna sit here and complain that I'm not seeing Mega Kangaskhan. Let's be real here. I should be happy that Mega Kangaskhan isn't around. I wish people would get a little bit more creative, though, and stop using the same Pokemon over and over again. But that's a story for another day. Let's take a look at this team. We have Garchomp, Porygon 2, Talonflame, Rotom Wash again, Mega Lopunny, and Aegislash. So pretty much all of the standard Pokemon that we see here on battle spots. In fact, most of these are probably in the top 10 for used Pokemon on battle spot, I would think. I think even Mega Lopunny might be in there. I'm not sure. Mega Salamence might be in the top 10. Aegislash, Talonflame, Rotom Wash, and Garchomp definitely are. Porygon 2 is. And the reason I know that is because I saw it on the Pokemon GL website not that long ago. So we're going to bring Delphox. We'll bring Empoleon for this, because Empoleon, if we can get an agility up, we can take out that Garchomp. And I'll bring Furfrou again, because it can take on the Talonflame fairly well. Empoleon can too, because we can take Brave Birds. Not going to take Flare Blitzes too well, though, so that could be an issue. Who knows? Just going to see what happens here. Leading off with our Choice Scarf Delphox, which I feel like we haven't used in a while. I don't know why I feel that way. Maybe it's just because I haven't used it in this episode. I'm not really sure if we used it last time, either. Maybe we didn't use it in the last episode. That would explain my feeling right now. So it's probably going to go for the Fake Out, and I don't really want to take all that damage on Delphox for no reason when we're already kind of frail. That will pretty much eliminate our ability to take any other hits. So what I'll do is I will go into Furfrou. At least we'll get some Rocky Helmet damage going. The worst thing that could possibly happen here would be a high jump kick coming our way, although I don't think that's very likely. Don't think we're going to see a high jump kick. No. Fake Out. That's not going to do too much. Does more than most Fake Outs would to a Furfrou, though. But it's okay, because we did more to this Lopunny than it did to us. So that's good. We could Cotton Guard, but I find it hard to believe that you don't have any special attackers on this team. So I'm going to go for a return here and try to deal some damage. Oh, never mind. High jump kick. Can we take that? We can, just not necessarily barely, but we didn't take it that well. And there goes the return. That did not do as much as I wanted it to. The question is, do we want to give up Furfrou just to almost take out this Mega Lopunny? I guess. Sucker Punch, I don't know if that would be worth it. It's a resisted hit, it's unstab. I'll just go for the return here. Here comes the high jump kick. And I was kind of hoping that you were just going to miss. Actually, I should have went for Sucker Punch. That would have killed. Wow, that was a misplay on my part. That was a really bad misplay, actually. Because unless Sucker Punch was just going to do that little, where it wasn't even going to do like 5%, which I guess is possible just because it's a Furfrou. I think that was a bad play, though. I'll go for the Flamethrower here. And we'll probably see Rotom come in. Yes, there is the Rotom, of course. I should have gone for the Psyshock. I'm just not making good plays here. That one against the Mega Lopunny may have cost me the match. Because that can come in and get a free hit off on something. Which just really stinks. Really, really stinks. For some reason, I just underestimated how much Rocky Helmet would do. Huh. Alright, either way, I'm going to expect a Hydro Pump here. I'll go into Empoleon to take that. And that kind of does a lot of damage. Wow. Okay, that is definitely Choice Specs, which means we are safe to stay in here. So we could probably just set up an Agility. Right? Unless I want to try to catch something switching in. But we don't know what that third Pokemon is. That is the key here. So I'll set up an Agility. Yeah, it has to switch, so at least we know that that thing is Choice Specs now. And we're going to see Aegislash come in. That's going to be the third and final Pokemon. I think we were going to outspeed that anyway, just because Aegislash is pretty slow. It's got like base 60 speed, somewhere around there. We're going to have to connect on a couple of Hydro Pumps in a row to take it out, though. And hope that this thing doesn't have Sacred Sword, too. So there's the Hydro Pump. We'll see how much that does. Not quite half. We're going to have to hit with another one. At least have to hit with one more. So he's changing to Blade form. We see the Shadow Ball coming our way here. We should be able to take that. And we do with 35 HP remaining. I would assume that we're going to see a... Shadow Sneak, maybe? I don't know if that'll take us out from there, honestly. No, it's going to be King Shield going back into the Shield form, which really shouldn't be too surprising. That's all Aegislash does, is alternate attacks with King Shield. Hydro Pump obviously does not connect. And we're going to go for Hydro Pump again, and we really need it to hit, because then we can outspeed and we can kill this thing with a Psyshock, which is helpful, because that's what we want to lock ourselves into. Oh, never mind, we missed the Hydro Pump. I can't complain too much just because we hit like 3 Icicle Crashes in a row earlier in this episode, but we may have had a chance to come back here. Now we'd have to lock ourselves into Psyshock because Flamethrower is not, in any universe, going to take out a Rotom. It's just not going to happen, and Hydro Pump will kill us. So we would need him to miss like 3 Hydro Pumps in a row. That is not realistic. So... this stinks. This really stinks. I mean, I guess we could go for Switcheroo. Maybe. I don't know if that's the right play, though. I feel like Shadow Ball will just KO us anyway. Because I'm not invested in HP or anything. I mean, like, the best case scenario, I guess, what I could have just done there was Switcheroo, give this Aegislash a Choice Scarf, and then... we would have gotten a weakness policy, I guess. That would be the item that this thing is carrying, because we didn't see lefties. But the thing is, I need the Choice Scarf for the Lopunny, because it's still alive, because I didn't Sucker Punch it when I should have. So, bad plays combined with the Hydro Pump miss really screwed us over here. I don't know if it would have mattered. I think we would have had to one-shot the Rotom, or had a Hydro Pump miss on his side in order to win, even if we took out the Lopunny. So I don't know that it would have mattered all that much anyway. I think my opponent was still going to barely pull out the win. It just would have been a lot closer, because this ends up being a 3-0, despite the Aegislash and the Lopunny being severely weakened and the Rotom at about half health or whatever it was at. So that is a 3-0. That brings our record to 12 and... I want to say 12... No, not 12. We won earlier. 13 and 5. There we go. So that is still an 8-game differential. That is the last time we're going to be using this team. I'm pretty happy with how it did. We went, I think, 4-2 over the course of the 3 episodes, so not too shabby at all. Can't really ask for more than that. With that being said, that is going to do it for this episode, so I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please make sure you're leaving a like rating or a comment or whatever you would like to do, and I will see you all next time. And until then, game on.